I'm Ethan Nagel, scout sniper and filmmaker. I've teamed up with combat veteran and founder of Project Leaflet, Chris Naganuma. We traveled to Izium to capture the stories of 3rd Assault Brigade's men on the front lines. This is Embed Actual.
If you have annoying neighbors, you can use this device.
Just crossed the river. We're gonna grab some coffee though before we hit the front line.
Heading back into the bunker for safety. Make sure we don't get hit with counter battery.
Oh, there's one.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Oh yeah! Broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence on this 28th July. In the year of our whatever we're doing, dumpster fire 2025. My shows. In the gunner seat, of course, I have my main man, Massey. I gotta think about a jingle for you, like Massey Man or my man Massey.
Right?
How you been, man?
I've been.
Yeah, you've been busy. You are fucking off and doing all your shit and doing all your
know.
doing all your fun and all your I don't know, you're a musician. I don't know why I fucking just said like music.
New Jersey and musician shit all mixed
Yeah,
up.
exactly. Yeah, because I was thinking about New Jersey. New Jersey. You were hanging around in New Jersey and doing stuff in New Jersey, doing your musician stuff. But you also participated in Gastonia, that event, Vet Fest, right? Tell us how it went. Tell us how it
It was a
went.
good time. It was Positive Service, I think, is the charity that all the money went to, which is Service Dogs for Vets. And pretty good turnout, a lot of good bands. Kind of a little bit of a shit show, I guess, because it was the 5th. So the morning of, the city had picked up all the barricades that were supposed to be there because they thought they were left over from the 4th. So, outside of the normal technical stuff that happens in the background, it went really well. It was a good time. So it was fun. It was fun. I was glad to be a part of it. Got some cool pics. Made me look way cooler than I am, So it was a good time.
Yeah. No. So what was the turnout like? What was the
turnout it was so hot. Like in the evening, it was a lot better. Like I played inside, thank God.
Right.
Middle of the day, and it was decent when I was there. And as the day progressed and it got cooler, a lot more people came out. It's funny, you see a lot of the pictures, and it looks like, especially the outdoor stage, that everything was kind of dead, but everybody that was there was all crowded like near the side of the building under the awnings.
Yeah.
It looks like there's no crowd.
No, I noticed that. I noticed all the. You can kind of feel the heat when you see some of the pictures, and I was like, dude, it looked like. Well, I was hanging out in Fort Bragg just a week after that, so it was hot as balls. So I can imagine.
It was brutal.
But
but otherwise, it's been New Jersey for work. I played out there a little bit just at this spot that I found that I got to drink for free, so it was a good time.
Right.
I was just working my dick in the dirt, man. That's been about it. And like we've talked about, when I'm traveling, that hotel Wi-Fi is so spotty.
Right.
If I try to do the show, it cuts out half the time.
Yeah, guys, that's like when it's always Massey's not like gone doing. He's working. He's out there doing some of the work for his stuff, and also he plays shows, and he's representing us as a hey, dude, what's your IG, what's your Insta thingies to
Stephen Massey Music.
Stephen Massey Music. There you go.
Yeah, it's consistent on all the platforms,
Yeah.
You know, and I look at us, you know, I got to get out there. A lot of 7-Elevens, you know, those dicks aren't going to suck themselves. You know, truck stop. I have to do the Lord's work out there, you know.
You gotta be careful how you say that, because this is a family oriented. Well, we're going to talk about South Park in a minute, but it's a family. You know.
At a nickel a pop, man, I'm making a good $20 a weekend. It's a good time.
Don't you get like free food or free, you know, drinks, or you get something at least?
Oh, I do.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just double checking. Yeah.
And I've decided that this is the year of our colonoscopy, is what this is. By the way, that's what I thought is. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
The universe is giving us our colonoscopy this year.
Oh, about to say, man, because supposedly, and this is supposedly a debunked rumor, is that there's supposed to be like a meteor or something like that coming, and there's supposed to be some, you know, some sort of alien spacecraft coming, and everyone's debunking back and forth. Did you know alcohol increases your cancer of? Well, thank you, Musa, for the enlightened.
Oh, dude, I'm smoking and drinking, so I'm banking on at least a solid 75.
Well, my biggest thing is that, look, man, look, man, it's your own thing. You know what I mean? I'm not the, you know me, I'm never I'm not the morality police. So if you want to drink and stuff like that, and then yeah, don't. That's on you. I mean, and of course, you know, does it say or does it not say, or does alcohol exasperate? It doesn't exasperate. I'll be honest with you, the way science has been going now, I don't freaking know what is going on anymore.
Right.
So, all right. So go ahead.
Said it was good for me.
What's that?
ChatGPT said it was good for me.
Well, you're gonna say is like AI, you know, trash in, trash out. I had a big argument on Grok. Going back and forth about statistics and talking about IQ rates, and you know, me being a former PSYOP guy, I was about a lot of the statistics that we use to what we call target audience analysis, and making them some of the products to be susceptible for the messaging that we have. We do take in account IQ, and so oh man, it's. Libs of TikTok posted a video or posted an image of a Somali Somali descent lawmaker, and so she posted, "Dad, do you know that the average statistic for Somalia is like 67?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's kind of like those are kind of running stats." So I wanted to get Grok to admit, man, people were getting mad. People were getting mad. I mean, they were. Getting pissed. Oh, you racist and stuff. I just really wish that in the intel community and in the soft community, if everyone knew what kind of studies and kind of breakdowns what we use for, even if you look at a country study in the military, if you break it down like that, people don't go into it. Don't open the book or don't open the study with any type of leaning, because you're going to get offended and you're going to get upset. And so. Yeah. Exactly that, Musa. It's what is IQ and how to measure it, what standards you have and all that. And people were thinking that I was like, this is what a standard said. And I posted an article that cited somebody that was really controversial. And it was the article was written in the Medium platform, and it was a Kenyan that was talking about it. And I'm thinking, look, my experience living on the Horn in Africa, I'll say I've lived there. I've lived in Africa, so I could say that. And the experiences of the work there just kind of like made it I don't know. It's more clinical and sterile when you talk about it, when you leave emotions out of it, you know, and people get fucking pissed when you talk about stuff like that without a baseline study, you know, and this is just for Somalia. So
here in the States, I go with the face method. Like, oh, that guy looks like a fucking idiot. And that's just what I do.
Well, it's always, never judge a book by its cover and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, same thing too. But they're just somebody's got that look. All right.
If somebody's face makes me want to punch it, I'm automatically.
that's both of us, because we both look alike, and we've
exactly.
So we both, everyone's already accusing you of being my child. So real breaking news, right quick. There was an active shooter day in downtown New York, and they got a suspect, or they have the images of the suspects here. So let me pull it up right quick.
Where was this in New York? I was there last week with my daughter.
Really? Oh, this is. Hang on. Let me. Well, let's put on the Let's pull up the pic. This was 35th, 345th Park Avenue.
Oh, well, okay.
Rudin and 345th Park Avenue. So it shows you in the image right there of the incident that's happening as we speak.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So it's like,
That's a well-dressed shooter too. Like
Yeah.
usually they're all, whatever, but he's just chilling.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Musa, Ice, do you know what the best way to defend yourself against intellectual attacks? I don't take offense. I don't defend myself to intellectual attacks. If I get attacked, I get attacked. That's the thing too. You want to go back to the stats again? Is that what you're saying, Musa? There were people that really were getting emotional about it. And I'm thinking, dude, I look, I'm brown. I'm with you. You know what I mean? I'm just, there are some enclaves, and then I was getting stats, and again, me and Grok made up. I can't believe I was going on a conversation with a clanker, as everyone else likes to talk about. But again, I always say that AI is whatever it is what you put in, which I think needs to happen. Is this needs to be some sort of every book on the planet that's ever been, that's ever been written should go into AI. So that way studies, but then when you get told that these specific studies are not this, and it's a very controversial person, well, everybody's controversial when you write fucking any article or anything about a stat. So it could be anybody that you.
Yeah.
So let me go back to the. It was East 52nd Street between Park. Yeah. Exactly that. Insomniac. Grok, is this true? Grok, is this true? Grok, is this true? Even you can be talking to somebody who was wounded. And I've seen people who have been wounded in combat that post something on social media, and then somebody will go below it. Grok, is this true? That's the new. So I guess there has to be. Let me look at the notes. At least so far, 2 hurt, including a cop, in serious condition at the Park Avenue. Yes, like you were saying, Park Avenue skyscraper.
Okay.
In the housing Blackstone NFL headquarters. So everyone's been really posting whatever, trying to, and of course everyone's always already saying Trump's America. This is Trump's America. I hate it, dude. I freaking hate it. You can't anything that's happened. Gunman has been tentatively, I guess you should say, allegedly identified as a
cool
Shane Tamura. As a matter of fact, let me pull up this. So let me get the last deets here. Police officer died at Midtown building. Several others shot. NYPD says. Lone shooter is dead. ID'd as 27-year-old man from Vegas. Scene contained. Building cleared. Car of interest being searched, and FBI is responding. Let me pull up the possible. Now again, I'm gonna say this again. This is the possible of what has been being posted around by 3 other sources. So,
okay.
Heath said that I do not respond to intellectual attacks. I speak 3 languages and have a high IQ. See, that's another thing too. Hey, what's up, Chan? What's up, Ton? Like I always keep wanting to say Tan for some reason. So, yeah, that's what that supposedly is allegedly the suspect. There's no confirmation yet that we've gotten so far. I do know that that's possibly a trifold wallet, because I have the same wallet that's got that circle in the middle of it, and that's where I keep some of my IDs, and it looks kind of like similar to what I have. So but yeah, so that's what's going on right now. So
false flag. What are they covered up?
What? I'm just saying.
What else is going on right now? What's
happening? Yeah, what's happening? Yeah, what's Hunter Biden doing right now? What's happening right now? And then there was a knife attack at Walmart, and that happened. I mean, dude, I don't know what's going on. This is.
I broke up a fight here at Walmart on the 4th of July.
You did?
I did.
What the hell happened?
I walk around the corner. There's 2 dudes just going at it, blood everywhere, whatever, and everybody's just filming, right? Nobody's doing anything,
right?
And I was like, oh god damn it! So I walk over, and dude's got the other guy by the hair, and I got it broken up. And it turned out there was some drunk redneck dude had said something super racist to this Mexican guy, and they started throwing fists. I didn't know that beforehand, but I got him broken up. Walmart guys refused to call the police. Nobody would do anything. It was just a whole train wreck. But I was thinking, though, I'm a disabled vet on the 4th of July, breaking up a racial motivated fight in a Walmart. Like, this is the most American fucking thing that's ever happened to me. So, you know, it was a bizarre day. But I told one lady, I was like, somebody call the police, and she was like, I can't. I'm filming. I was like,
she really said that?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, dude.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You know, crazy.
That's another thing with society as well. So there was a man who stabbed 11 people at a Walmart in Michigan.
Oh, damn, 11?
Yeah, 11. And it remains unnamed, but they named him finally.
Was he just really fast? Like,
I think he was just running around stabbing people and shit. And people who described the incident were described as 40. A local man and a local resident and a hero who held him back at gunpoint is named already. And his name is Derek Perry. All right, let me throw a picture up here right quick.
that Second Amendment shit right there.
There you go, baby. There you go. So shout out, strong work, Derek. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you are truly a freaking hero, man. That's prevented a lot of casualties. I mean, just by immediately drawing down on the guy. So the guy is supposedly they got it. Not supposedly, they got it named already. 42-year-old. At the article I was reading right now, it said allegedly. So 42-year-old Bradford James Gilly, looking like this dude.
He's pissed about that hairline.
Not what to say, man. I will just say, shave it all, or get some plugs or something like that to get it.
That's like the Epstein Island of hairlines, dude.
It's just like fix yourself. You know what I mean? Fix yourself. I always some of my bros that are losing their hair, and they're like, "Hey, man, you gonna get something done for your hair, or are you just gonna go whatever?" And they're like, "No, I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna do some treatments and stuff to grow my follicles back." Fuck yeah, dude, get it. You know why?
But I love the single circular patch though. With
yeah.
Great.
Was there video? Oh yeah, there was video. Hang on, let me let me grab the video right quick and let me load it up.
Thank God somebody filmed instead of putting their fucking phone down.
Well, there was 3 people. Let me go back at it. Let me go back at it again. Let me go. So there was 3 people around. There was like 3 or 4 people around the dude. So you can see. Yeah, there he is right there. He's right there, freaking drawing down on the guy.
Yeah, good for him.
Then he's like, freaking, and there's the dude right there. There's the stabber wearing some saggy clothes right there and some flip flops. Right. It seems like. It looked like he might have been homeless.
Yeah.
And there's a stabbing victim right there.
Right.
So obviously censored because YouTube and everybody will go nuts. Larry is right there. All.
Yeah.
He look at that. Man, get him, Derek. Get him. That's what I'm talking about.
Crazy.
So.
And the 2 dudes that keep walking in front of him holding the gun.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I think the guys were kind of like either one of them was like ready to jump and one of them was documenting to protect Derek from.
Yeah.
To you know what I mean? Because you were up to a situation. And there's a lot of people gathered, and you're walking up to an mass incident. Cops don't know what the fuck's going on. Cops don't, whatever. And so, which person was a veteran? Oh, this guy was a Marine. Appreciate the, I was about to say good catch on the note. Derek Perry is a Marine.
Hell yeah.
So shout out to him. That's good shit. So Derek Perry, we appreciate actually the Walmart in Michigan appreciates, your service and what you did. So that's good stuff.
Good for fucking him, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So man, it's just everyone's like Bradford. That's kind of he doesn't look like a Bradford. The suspect doesn't look like a Bradford. Does he look like a Bradford to you?
No, but he does look like a Gilly.
He looks like I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but that's the guy who's been detained. Michigan.
You can see why he's wearing a hat.
Yeah, exactly that. You're talking about the little Epstein Island hat. Here, there. Michigan has easier concealed carry laws than Texas. The class takes about 4 hours. Michigan also has open carry. The guy with a knife had been a problem for years, and government and cops did nothing. Where was security? Why didn't anyone grab a baseball bat? Yeah, well, Donald. Unless you're there in the incident, it's always
Did you see there's an article over the week last week? There's she was an Army vet, some grandma that stopped some lady charged like the cockpit during a flight, and this old bitch took her down.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about that too. Yeah. So it's
Army vet. That's coming up over this last week.
Yeah. really need to change the 8th Amendment because the current system isn't working, going to happen, and suspect's going to go to prison and live his life. Yeah, I think that a lot of people are saying what's considered harsh punishment. You know, what's considered a legit punishment? Like, are you gonna? I'm not saying I'm not saying we go to Sharia type of shit where somebody gets their hands chopped off for stealing or something, but
yeah, but it's good. It's going to get to where the cruel and unusual is taking their internet away.
That's what I'm saying. Where does the line draw on the cruel and unusual? Like this guy who did this in Michigan. Do you stab him now a few times to what I mean? to kind of that's his punishment?
I like it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like eye for an eye type stuff, Right. But I know. I mean, like I said, I've said this before. It's like usually a thief, a ball peen hammer to the fucking hands, like the movie Casino. And I usually will solve your hand issues there.
I do feel like in cases of child sexual abuse, that the absolute should be eye for an eye, exponentially so.
Chipper,
like those guys. I'm a fan of letting the fuckers live, but just very painfully and for the rest of their fucking day.
You're talking about what was done to child be done to them. Gotcha.
For the rest of their days.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I would gladly allow my tax dollars to go to that.
Yeah. So everyone asks, "Hey, is it too much? Is it too much? Too little?" Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I personally don't think that it's it's not I don't want to say it's not a big deal. It's just that it's one of those things to where like man,
yeah.
I would definitely look at. I mean, considering the victims as well. Look at the individuals that were stabbed. Now and someone just said in the chats that individual was a problem in the community for a long time and nobody did anything about it.
Yep.
Did you see also that there was I'm glad we're talking about the guy someone said that the guy wasn't all there either. That D. Treasy's talking about doing the bringing back asylums. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Dude, what do you think?
Briefly. It's.
What's your thoughts about that?
I don't even know anymore. I think it's ridiculous, but
to what? To not have one or to have one?
I'm talking about like mental institutions, right? Like
Right.
asylums, right? Yeah, no, ridiculous is
Right.
what that is.
Wait, okay, hang on. We got somebody that's like in the chats. Did you see that chat? I was dicing. Oh man, it's just like a big pharma. Freaking, we're getting spam botted in the fucking chat. You guys see that? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me work on these. So okay, I'll let you talk. But you
no, as I feel like we are in the States. We have a lot of good shit. We are very privileged in a lot of ways. Our mental health care is not one of those ways, and we are notoriously really, really bad at dealing with any type of mental health issues. And asylums was like when they first were about, they slowly got better. That's kind of what kicked off like the mental health thing, but. We should take a page from other countries that actually try to fucking help people as opposed to throwing them in asylums and locking them up forever and ever and ever. And then the people that you can't cure that are a danger to society, they could just be eliminated. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that kind of like assisted suicide or something like that? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh no, I'm just talking about just straight up taking them out. Like if they're like serial killers, serial rapists, people that you can't like that are like a legitimate, like they're not curable, like people that like fuck kids. Yeah, they don't. You can just wipe them out. That's fine.
Gotcha.
Anyone with treatment is fine.
Okay. All right. Okay. Woo. I don't know, man. I think like okay, you're right. Our behavioral health sucks. Our behavioral health facilities and treatment, it sucks. It just really, it's like, especially for the veterans, especially for, I just saw online, everyone talked about what's your hottest take on behavioral health, and somebody said that it was habitual line crosser that said you can't save, pretty much paraphrasing, you can't save them all. You won't be able to save everybody. I'm paraphrasing, of course.
Right. That's true.
And like, yeah, it's pretty much true. It's like you can, we do that when we talk about behavioral health and we talk to the VA and the VA comes back and says, hey, we provided this veteran all this information and we don't know what else to do. It's like, it's give and take. So what do we do then? Do we give the, like you were saying, do you give them that? Do you give them
Yeah,
that? I mean, do
I
you,
so asylums.
I'm talking about the asylum part. Like, do you get inpatient asylums and
So in a from the
like this guy
perspective
who did this?
of if you have people they have no homes, they have nowhere to go, and it gives them treatment and a place to be, and they obviously could not live on their own otherwise. Sure,
Mhm.
that would make sense to me in that type of instance. But just as a place to throw away undesirables because they have some mental health issues, no. Like, oh, my wife has hysteria. I'm gonna throw her in this fucking asylum
Right.
so she could get jerked off by a doctor once a week, and I don't have to deal with her anymore.
Right. Yeah. What about, because then you start talking about like,
Where's the line, right? It's a slippery slope.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just, I'm just, again, I'm on the fence of it could go into the point to where we throw somebody away that could have gotten help, and then there's no money going into those facilities to help those individuals,
Right.
especially as
No, cut funds and send it to ICE, you know.
yeah. What do you mean to ICE?
What?
What do you mean? You're talking about immigration.
Oh
Yeah, customs forms. Okay, there you go. Not about me. I'm about to say I'm you know. But yeah, I'm just thinking like it's a bad idea. Well, I say it's not a bad idea, but it's got to be. I mean, something like that. It's kind of like
if the GOP is involved, it's a bad idea.
Well, if everybody, both parties are involved, because if it's a bad idea, because then it becomes a freaking, then it becomes a money pot of where is it going to go? How are these funds going to get distributed? Who is going to be the ones that are going to be there to provide that type of assistance in asylums, should that happen? And so it's just kind of like,
yeah,
you just saw online. So.
Yeah, I mean, it should be noted too that I'm severely bipolar with borderline personality disorder, so I'm crazy as a motherfucker. So I include myself in these demographics. If I ever go off the rails, please put me down. I don't. It's fine. I don't want to be thrown in an asylum. I'm fine.
I'm about to say that asylum's kind of scary. An asylum is scary when you. I mean, especially, I always some of the friends and family that I talk to, and they talk about some of them have special needs kids or autistic kids. And they become adults, and then the parents aren't able to take care of them. Where are they going to go? How do they, we and you've talked about that one time, and where that autistic kid was shot, a teenager, because the cops didn't understand what he was doing, so the cops thought he was reaching, and then they fucking killed him. And you're like, God, man, it's just just one of those. A bunch of neurodivergent doctors and nurses treating a bunch of neurodivergent patients. Sounds like a party. Well, I will say, Holly, that would be the opportunity to test, specific, homeopathy. What do they call that? Neuropathy, whatever.
Just put some crystals in their asses. They'll be fun.
Fix their chakras? Is that what you're saying? No, give them some psychedelics. Let them. That's where you do the baseline psychedelics. That's where you do the baseline, cannabis, cannabinoids, CBD, THC, CBN, and all that. And so there you go.
No insomniac. All sex offenders should have their own little tiny prison, and you just give away lube all the time. They keep them all locked in there together, and just free lube for life. And then that's just put
them on an island.
Yeah, put them on an island. We'll fly dignitaries in. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, fly out. Oh, you're gonna go there with that island stuff again. Put them on an island, in a special island somewhere.
Yeah, we'll call it Australia. Why not?
No, hey, we're already going to talk about. We're not ready to talk about Australia. No, I'm not talking about the Epstein shit. I was trying to get to the Epstein joke.
It was a good Epstein joke. I just went with Australia's full of criminals joke.
Don't be hating, man. We got some. Yeah, exactly. Iron God said, "Fact. There's not a gun problem. There's a mental health and drug problem." There you go.
Well, the thing is, so what I was saying, like, if we take anything from history and look at how asylums have notoriously treated people over the years, it is a terrible idea, right? Yeah. Because all the undesirables go there. It's not well funded, and people get abused and mistreated, and it's horrible. Look at the nursing home system, right? Unless you have the money to put family in a very nice, well-funded nursing home, they get mistreated, abused, neglected. Like, it's horrible. The nursing home system is absolutely awful.
It is.
And that's the closest thing we have currently to working an asylum system is, throw away all of our old people we don't want to deal with. And just
that's the thing too. There's a lot of people that, I know some cultures and some traditions, their parents stay in the home until they pass, and other cultures and traditions, or other people how they act, they put their parents in homes immediately, like when they hit a certain age. It's almost like a rite of old home passage or some shit like that. That's why I'm like, and then they won't be able to do it, like you were saying. They become the families feel like the parents or the elderly family members are. It's just a fucking sad situation. But you're right. We see videos of the elderly getting beat up. We see videos of children getting beat up in a fucking, you know, it just fucking
orphanages and shit. Yeah. Yep. If I ever get a fucking Alzheimer's diagnosis, man, I'm just fucking getting some shotgun mouthwash and calling it a day.
Bro, if I have a terminal disease, man, I'm gonna call up some bros and say, hey, any quote unquote side work you want me to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Just one of those things. I don't know. I like you were saying about your faculties, your mind, and you start going away. Well, so Australians. Talk about Australians.
I was kidding, Australians. I love you.
We have fans. We have fans from Australia.
No, you're right. You guys' accent get me harder than almost anything else on this planet. So, dude, I don't like men and women. I don't give a shit.
I'm about to say, even the guys. You're like,
ladies,
man. Talking to some of the Australian friends and something like that, and then you talk to some of the Australian women. You're like, Lord,
Norway.
Well, I mean, growing up, the Australian phenomenon. It started with Paul Hogan with Crocodile Dundee, right? And I'm pretty sure everybody, every Australian probably doesn't want. I'm just tired of hearing that. Oh, like Crocodile Dundee, But Mad Max and all that. And there was this one guy that used to run around in an Energizer commercial. He had his jaw jutted out from the bottom, and he goes, "It'll surprise ya, new Energizer, oi!" And he was talking the Energizer battery and stuff. Oi, oi, oi. Anyways, so I got some friends out there in Australia that are dealing with some shit. You guys, have you ever heard of the Pineapple Express?
The movie?
No.
I'm joking.
Wait, is there a movie? The Pineapple Express is a Australian version of U.S. Army W.T.F. Moments. It is a Aussie version of U.S. Army W.T.F. Moments. And so,
nice.
Yeah, good crew there.
That's a great logo.
Yeah, I love that. Isn't that awesome? We share some of their stuff from time to time. Any issues that we assist them with, any issues that we have that they have. Look, man, soldiers are soldiers worldwide, and since the GWAT, the Australian Defence Force, the Australian military, and the Australian SAS has supported us in our fight in the global war on terror before it all, of course, we went away. Well, there's a story that's coming out. Now, we have Hots and Cots, right? We have the Hots and Cots app that always highlights mold and all this other stuff. Well, there's a soldier, an Australian soldier, that was talking about their base housing. And
I saw the story.
Did you see the story? So Queensland Police Service and military police come to my family twice in less than a week without warrant, evidence or due, while my pregnant wife and young children are inside. I followed every proper, Jacko, the battery. Yeah, exactly. The Iron God. That was the name. Jacko. There you go. I followed every proper process, include public interest disclosures, tribunal filings, and media engagement with 7 News Australia, with full transparency to talk about the mold. Right? It seems like our military, and it seems like the Australian military. I want to know who owns the mold. The mold, whoever the mold mafia is doing this to our soldiers. Again, Australian Defence Force. So this is who we're talking about. This is not in the continental United States. Now, instead of support or answers, my family is being visited by police or military personnel with no lawful justification provided. Now, this is the story that we had about about mold. They were talking about mold.
Yeah.
And there it is. Look at that. They are.
That's crazy.
They showed up. Communication forms for ongoing public interest, disclosure for public interest, disclosure, blah, 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 relating to serious misconduct involving defense associated. So it's like he pretty much dimed out. It's just like how we do. It's just like how we do it. It's like, you imagine somebody coming to your house because you posted something to U.S. Army WTF Moments, as much as leaders want to.
Mm-hmm.
He also posts, the military police arrived at my home because the intelligence command at my unit had removed my security clearance. Dude,
that's
just
crazy.
for talking about mold.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I mean, dude, what the hell is going on? I mean, hey, Australia, we could adopt you. I wish we could adopt you, man.
I was going to make a joke about them getting their ass kicked by emus years and years ago, but I'm going to take that back.
I'm about to say cane toads, emus, and freaking what are they? The huntsman spider or something like that. Yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
This is jacked up.
Yeah.
And what's mad about it is the UK as well. Problems not the degrees MPs at the door. I guarantee I wonder if Canada and New Zealand have the same issues. I don't know. Look at that. They're there. There's this command. Can you imagine your chain of command showing up to your door for shit posting on WTF Moments or US or WTF Nation Radio? Or you have a story being discussed about it?
Yeah, that's crazy. Legit crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we shared it and did a little, we posted it up as well and did a little caption and all that. Just to highlight this, and the Pineapple Express, they have a considerable following for Australia, but I just felt like, man, we've shared these guys before. Let's get this highlighted because I cannot believe.
Yeah,
Iron God said that the emu, Iron God must be Australian. Emu story is a psyop to keep the Canadians out. You think so? So, dude, I mean, could you imagine? Could you, as U.S. Army or U.S. Navy or anybody who posts on meme page or discusses their stories, could you imagine if you posted a meme and the next thing you know, you have the freaking MPs and the cops, the state police show up to say, what are you doing posting about mold?
I'm waiting on them to form the U.S. Department of Bullying. That's going to happen.
Ooh, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that's baller as hell. The U.S. Department of the U.S. Department of Mean Bullying,
or the U.S. Anti-Bullying Commission.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Well, I'm about to say, are we talking about us doing the bullying or the
either or?
Yeah,
tomato at this point.
Yeah, exists. I'm about to say, look at that. That's what tripped me out when I saw the pictures of the guys, the guy's unit standing outside his freaking front door.
Yeah.
And then just the guy was literally just talking about mold. He was interviewed, just like, as a matter of fact, we just posted a story about mold and screwed up quarters on the timeline just a few days ago. I think there's one getting posted again. And that soldier went to the media.
Yeah.
Now imagine what would happen if all of a sudden you showed up to show up to talk to the cops. Man, I would. Ooh, there's our guest. Oh, I guess
if I had mold in my garage, who could I complain to?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, we're gonna take a break right quick. We'll cover this. We'll continue with the story later. But yeah, we'll be right back, and we'll bring our guest on here. Northwest Battle Buddies Shannon Walker will be joining us. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
Soldier's tale of wild misdeeds, from the chow hall to the PT grind. You won't believe the things you'll find. Drill sergeant's rage, a fiery storm. Private tensions far from the norm in the shadows where the secrets lie. Army W.T.F, you can't deny. Army of the stories unfold. In the heart of the chaos, the truth is told. From the field to the base, the legends grow. Stuck in the mud so deep, a midnight rain, no time for sleep. Emerge straight like gold in hand. The strangest sights in this foreign land. Drill sergeant's rage, a fiery storm. Private antics far from the norm in the shadows where the secrets lie. Army W.T.F, you can't deny. Army of the stories unfold. In the heart of the chaos, the truth is told. From the field to the base, the legends grow. the mud so deep. I'm in memory, no time for sleep. In Murray Street like gold in hand. The strangest sights in this foreign land. Drill sergeant's rage, a fiery storm. Private antics far from the norm in the shadows where the secrets lie. Army W.T.F, you can't deny. Army W, the stories unfold. In the heart of the chaos, the truth is told. From the field to the base, the legends grow. Army W, the fourth, the madness we know. In the ranks where the wild things roam. Every soldier's got a tale of their own. From the absurd to the downright strange. Army W, the fourth, it never will change. She'll raise a glass to the tales untold. In the Army's world where the brave and bold live the moments that make us say Army W, the fourth, every single day.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. All right, we have our guest, Shannon Walker. Thank you for hanging out with us today, Shannon. You're part of the Northwest Battle Buddies. How you doing?
Yes, I am. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yeah.
I'm excited to spend this time with you.
Yeah, this is fun. I'm just gonna go ahead and bring up the thing only because you guys have the most adorable website of showing the pups and all that. Yeah. This is awesome. I anything that has to do with helping the veteran community, especially when it comes to service animals, we're always game to post up. So that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I love to always show our Battle Buddy babies anytime we can.
Yeah. Oh, you're tugging at the heartstrings. You did it with me. I'm like, oh my God, that's so adorable. That's so cute.
Yeah, no, they're great. They're great.
Okay, so tell us about Northwest Battle Buddies, and tell us. Well, first off, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, well, thank you for that. Thank you so much for having me on the show. First of all, super excited. And as we were just saying in the green room, super excited. I don't have to do the 3-minute elevator speech. I can slow it down a bit.
Right.
So my name is Shannon Walker, and I've been a professional dog trainer for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And I also happen to be the founder and CEO of Northwest Battle Buddies. And I have an amazing team. But what we do is we provide service dogs to veterans that are battling PTSD. We train our dogs for 5 months professionally. We train our veterans for 5 weeks. We are across the nation, represented in 28 states. And we have currently, we have provided 292 service dogs for our veterans in the last 13 years.
Oh, wow.
Northwest Battle Buddies is a nonprofit, and we absolutely rely on we the people to help us get this done. And so we're growing our team, and I really appreciate you allowing us to share our stories and the veteran stories in this next hour, because it really is all about the veterans.
Right.
And so I'm super excited to be able to share a lot of our veterans' wins and their successes and how they're living life differently with a service dog at their side. So it's pretty awesome.
That brings me up to this question here: is that what would be the process? How would you identify a veteran to receive a service animal?
So, we have a qualification process, and because everybody loves the idea of a service dog because it's such a feel good.
Mm-hmm.
However, there's a lot of work involved, and it's a completely different mindset. So the first thing we do for a veteran that is thinking about seeking a service dog, which if anybody listening to this show and you think that a service dog might be for you, please check out Northwest Battle Buddies, mm-hmm. because we want to serve the veterans that are qualified. But if they're not qualified, we are not doing them any favors. So we are looking to make sure that their life is they have stable housing, stable income. We have veterans, they have honorable discharges. They've been deployed or are combat veterans. And that's just the very beginning. We get a copy of their DD-214, and we just want to make sure that they have some of the basics. Somebody who might be struggling with homelessness, a service dog would not be a benefit to them at this point. The idea of a dog might be, but the responsibilities and the financial burden and what we require, it wouldn't work. So somebody that came to us that was having those kind of challenges, we would set them up with resources in housing to start so they can get on their feet before they would be responsible for another living, breathing thing. But it's an incredible program. Like I just mentioned, we are 28 states. We have veterans that are living life better and differently with a service dog at their side in 28 states. And when I started Northwest Battle Buddies, like I mentioned, I'm a dog trainer, and I've been a professional trainer for 30 years. And it was my dad, actually. It's the way we were raised. We talk about legacy. Legacy isn't what you leave somebody, it's what you leave in somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it.
Amen.
My dad taught me to believe in God, family, and country. Yeah. And that when you're in the presence of a veteran, you're in the presence of a hero. Even though he didn't consider himself one. He served during the Korean War. And he'd be the first person to go shake somebody's hand but he was so uncomfortable if anybody came to shake his. And so because of the way you raised me and the way I saw our freedom and the men and women who provided it, I have a for-profit business, Man's Best Friend, and I've been doing that for 30 years. And so when a veteran came into my business looking for help, he wanted his personal dog to be trained to be a service dog. He got my attention. You know, a lot of times when you're a business owner, you try to you farm out responsibilities that other people can do, and you only do what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But when this veteran walked in and I found out he was a veteran, I wanted to serve him personally. And he wanted his personal dog, Sammy. She was a yellow lab. He wanted her to be trained to be a service dog. And so I assessed her. I've trained service dogs before, but I had never trained a service dog for a veteran with PTSD. So I found out what he needed her to task for, because these are tools. These service dogs are tools. They literally are a piece of medical equipment trained to mitigate a disability, to bring freedom and independence in life differently than prior to having the tool, which is the service dog. So when I met him and I assessed his dog, and I just did what I do, and it was going to be business as usual, but it wasn't. And while I trained his dog for many months to do the public access testing and navigate the outside world and to task for him. So when it was time for him to come in and learn how to handle her, because they're not robots, and the dog is only as good as the handler.
Right.
So these veterans learn how to handle this dog so it can, maximize the opportunity. And when I was working with Kevin, a couple things that were profound to me, when I saw him in public struggling, I saw him find courage to lead her places he was afraid to go alone. And I saw him find courage to do for her what he was unwilling to do for himself. And then I also learned about, I'd heard about the suicide rate, but it was just a number. And when he was a front gunner, and Kevin was a front gunner in the Army, and he was talking about the very last firefight he was in. And after coming home, the men that had survived that firefight with him, 6 of them had committed suicide on American soil after coming home. And he had medicated with illegal drugs for a year. Now, he was clean and sober by the time he was with me.
Right.
But this was his journey. And my dad always taught me that freedom wasn't free. And I never knew what that meant. I still don't, even though I have a better idea. But what was abundantly clear to me is that Kevin was still paying a price for my freedom, even though he wasn't wearing the uniform anymore. And when he finished his training, and I've accomplished a lot in the dog world. I have had the honor to work with police officers and help them train their police dogs. I've competed internationally against 13 countries and 1 in Europe. I've trained thousands upon thousands of pet dogs. And I've done a lot of things that people, and I stood on the podium with the national anthem, and it's all great. But when Kevin was walking away, after he had passed his testing, after our final training, I was watching him walk away with his head up and his shoulders back. I significantly felt like I made the difference in the quality of somebody's life. And I came back home and I was working, and I was just thinking so much about this experience. And then in my simple-minded thinking, I thought, if I can just adopt dogs out of shelters, I can train them and I can gift them and say, thank you for my freedom.
Yeah,
and
that was a spark.
That was 292 service dogs ago.
That spark just lit it. Yeah.
Yeah. I went right out and adopted 5 dogs and got started. And then I had to try to figure out how to start a nonprofit. But now I have an amazing team at Northwest.
Yeah, no one ever walks you through the steps. I think I've heard that from nonprofits and other businesses that do this type of work. It's always a spark that hits it, and then you're just like stumbling along to do it, because there's no like real, hey, this is how you want to do it. Yeah. This is how you start it. This is how. This is how we set it up, and this is how nobody. There is no training plan for this.
No. And my dad always said, "You don't know what you don't know," and that is a good thing.
Right.
It is a good thing that you cannot see the mountain in front of you. Mm-hmm. You just see the desire and the passion, and you find your way. And as long as you don't quit, you'll find your way.
Exactly.
And so that's what we did.
So you started it up. When was this, by the way? I forgot to ask you what.
13 years ago. 13 years ago.
2015. I'm sorry, 2015. Yeah, 2012, 2013, 20.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So it was right after my dad. Yeah, my dad had just died. So
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to
yeah,
do
but it
math.
was 13 years ago. I have to do the math.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't come on here to make me do math. Sorry.
I know, right? Yeah. And I got a C- in math, so you don't want me doing that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a dog trainer. So yeah.
The dogs probably know better math than both of us, I guess.
Probably.
Yeah. So that sparked then. What did you have to roll through? Just okay, look, because there's not a how do I say this? Is there not a nationally credited service dog certification at all? Is there one? No, there isn't.
No, there is no. That's why the service dog industry is the Wild West.
Mhm.
That's why it's so important to, if anybody out there is not coming to Northwest Battle Buddies, we are trusted. Check us out. You will find out that we absolutely have the gold standard 100% about how we train our dogs, work with our veterans, support our veterans for the life of the dog. And I can go into that if you like.
Yeah.
But the fact is if anybody out here is looking into a service dog agency, you better vet them, because most of the dogs are not trained. People pay money for puppies. They shouldn't be paying. There is no service dog puppy. I mean, it's just, there's just a lot of, and there's also a lot of really well-meaning people in the service dog industry. They just don't know what they're doing. It doesn't mean they have a bad heart. They just don't know what they're doing. And so you don't get the end result, and it ends up just causing more pain. And so anyway, but yes, there is no actual certification.
Yeah. Cause we've covered stories about service dog academies or service dog that ended up just not doing well, and ended up not succeeding, and then there was money issues involved and all that. So to continue, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but on the certification, what is it? How does it start? What do you do? I mean, what's the is there a state certification?
No, there are no certifications, but there are absolutely best practices that are adhered to and respected across the industry. So very quickly,
go for it.
Northwest Battle Buddies is a leader in the service dog industry in the United States. It is not uncommon, and it's not about the numbers, but it is about the numbers when you look at impact and being a subject matter expert. So like I said, we've gifted 292 service dogs, and last year we provided 46 dogs in 1 year, which to anybody else, that might seem like that's not very many dogs, but these dogs are $25,000 a piece. And I have an extremely small team that is working unbelievably tirelessly, training these dogs and working with these veterans. And so in the best practices, making sure that, so anyway, so let me back up. So Northwest Battle Buddies, our standard is some of the highest, but it's equal to, not to get confused, but I'm the founder and the CEO of Northwest Battle Buddies, but I'm also the executive director of the Association of Service Dog Providers, which is an elite group of service dog providers across the United States.
That was going to be my next question.
It's a trusted resource. And even though we all train our dogs maybe a little bit differently, or our models might be a little bit differently, all of the dogs exceed over 360 hours of training. All of our veterans exceed hundreds of hours of training. And so that's one of the reasons. But so when I started Northwest Battle Buddies, I just knew what it took in the dog training world to be excellent. I trained with police officers. I've stood on the podium in Europe, and had the national anthem, the American national anthem played, and all this kind of stuff. So when I started Northwest Battle Buddies, I wanted to make sure our dogs absolutely were the best, because in the dog training world, it's either right or it's wrong. So our dogs, why does it take 5 months to train our dogs? Because I learned that's what it takes to make them what I would consider bomb proof. They navigate the outside world. They're in restaurants, they're in stores, they're on escalators, they're on airplanes. We go through, TSA, we go through the grocery store. We teach them how to task. But anywhere you can think to take a dog and have that dog seem invisible, because they should never disrupt, we train them completely before the veteran even meets their dog. And then the veteran comes, and we have the longest training for our veterans that I know of in the United States, and it's 5 weeks. And the reason it's 5 weeks is because that's what it takes for their muscle memory, their habits, because they're just in the end of week 3 starting to get their act together. But these dogs but they're also discovering each other. So our veterans start having overnights with their dog in week 3, 4, and 5. Now these dogs are waking our veterans up from nightmares. They're helping stop panic attacks. These veterans are having wins and triumphs over the symptoms of PTSD that have been debilitating. And just one of my most favorite recent stories is when we go to pair a dog. So the veterans don't choose their dogs. We choose the dog for them before the veteran even comes here. So the Northwest Battle Buddies team, our executive director of training operations and his team, he goes through the entire veteran binder that our veteran liaison has put together and has, through all of the documentation. What is your lifestyle? What is your health? What are your habits? What are your dreams? Do you work? What's your family? Disabilities in the family? It goes on and on and on. And they know the dogs extensively, and they read these binders, and they get photos, and we get videos of the veterans walking, everything else, because we want to see movement. We want to see what they project.
All right.
And they pair these dogs on paper to the veteran. And then the very first day they meet the veteran, they go through and they see, and they want to access what the dog is going to feel from this veteran. And then they go through and audit. Did I pick right? Or they make adjustments right there. And that's where the magic begins. And so in this last group that we just finished, I actually was helping pair those dogs. And one of the personal statements from a veteran, because they all have to put in a personal statement. One of the personal statements was from a Marine. And he's like, so you have to have a personal statement. So here it is. I'm writing this personal statement in the closet because this is where I come to cope. My 13-year-old son and my wife know not to bother me here. I'm here for sometimes minutes, hours, or days. He says, it is the only thing that I have found that has kept me. And when I read that, I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe that this man, this brave, courageous man that served our country, is now in a closet because the system has failed him, people have failed him, but there he is surviving badly. So he came. We paired him with a golden retriever named Joy, and it was all he could do to fight the tears. But I'm telling you, he went through the 5 weeks, phenomenal, and he just came. He recertified. So our veterans, once they graduate, they recertify at 3 months, then at 9 months, and then they come back every year, which just means they come back for a day and they run their testing so we can see relationship training, all that. He came back for his 3 month and he goes, Shannon, I haven't spent 1 minute in the closet.
That's awesome.
And it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. But, our system works. But to answer your question about, certifications, it's about best practices. It's about best practices, bringing education to the industry, having a standard. If you don't have a standard that's worth sacrificing for, it's not a standard.
Of course.
It's not easy to maintain it. But the fact is that the success of the veteran solely relies on the quality of the dog, number one. Number two, the success of the veteran solely relies on the veteran's training. And that's on the organization, both of those.
Right.
And then, of course, their upkeep and their continued education and everything else. But, and the Northwest Battle Base has the highest standard of any organization that I know, because we exceed everything I just mentioned. But, and it shows in our teams because they're out there living life differently and better. And we're just super proud of them.
As we got a couple questions. We got a question in a couple of questions. Are there any Central Missouri locations? I mean, you talked about being in several states. Where are you located? Off the top of your head.
No, we have veterans in 28 states. We are in Battleground, Washington.
Gotcha.
And so every veteran comes here.
Okay.
For 5 weeks, and we train every day.
Okay.
Monday through Friday. 5 weeks.
Are service dogs in the U.S. covered under the same rules as guide dogs, i.e., access to shopping centers, airlines, and public transport?
Oh yeah. So under the guidelines of the ADA, psychiatric service dogs trained within a standard, as long as they are mitigating a disability, are allowed access to all public except sterile environments, just like a guide dog would be.
Yeah.
So yes, but it's only service dogs, not emotional support animals and not therapy dogs.
So what are the differences then? What are the differences if you can break it down for us?
That's a great question. So, the difference is huge. So first of all, an emotional support animal is allowed some privilege through the Fair Housing Act. An emotional support animal will be allowed into an apartment that may not allow dogs. So if you have a letter from your doctor saying you need this emotional support animal, but emotional support animals are not allowed public access like a service dog is. Now, back in the day with the peacock at the airport on the plane, emotional support animals were allowed on a plane because it's like a huge bus. So emotional support animals were allowed then, not anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know if some airlines, but yeah, it's like, so
well, no, we used to joke around that too. I had an emotional support Wolverine support. Everyone talking about support, emotional support alligator, and that's where, I mean, we do joke about it, but it's serious. But is it really that serious to where you need an alligator or a caiman or a lizard to be your emotional support?
But that's not legit though. That's not legit.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like it went out of hand to now where it is. Emotional support animal has gotten out of control, and you're just like, God, dude, what
is.
What are you gonna bring?
A lot of people and a lot of people buck the system, But the thing about the emotional support animal is that the training is not required that a service dog is required.
Okay.
No training is required for a service animal, for an ESA.
Gotcha.
An emotional support animal, they just have to have a doctor's note that says, I can benefit from an emotional support animal, and the emotional support animal only serves the human, but it's not trained to do anything necessarily except bring comfort.
It almost sounds like a
therapy dog.
Yeah, go ahead. I was about to ask. That's what I was going to ask. Go ahead.
I was going to well, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's almost like like you said, to buck the system and to have like a blank check I just want to have my dog with me. I just want to have my dog with me, or my cat with me. I just want to have my animals with me.
Yep.
And I mean, they're just some of it's not a common. Now, therapy dog, what's the difference between that and a service dog?
So a therapy dog is a dog that serves other people. Therapy dogs are like, you can go into like an older, an older people's home or a children's hospital, something like that. That dog solely goes in to calmly comfort and share affection with strangers.
Okay.
And so there is training and there's some certifications on a much, much lower level. Therapy dogs are not allowed all access, but with certifications, then your dog can be invited into those places. Like I just mentioned, like a children's hospital, and bring comfort and joy to a child. So that's really an awesome thing. But there isn't anything that requires the training and the amount of unbelievable training. And, because a service dog isn't a service dog unless it tasks to mitigate a disability. And then it has to be able to go everywhere in the world with its handler, and it has to be not noticed and not interrupt not interrupt public. So the service dog is the only one that is allowed access. And so, and if your dog is unruly and your dog is in public and they are barking and they are aggressive and they are not, then service dog or not, you can be kicked out. And my dad always said that, we don't need more laws. We just need people to be personally responsible.
Exactly.
But if businesses were, because they're so afraid of being sued, but if businesses would just be educated and enforce the laws on the books, they could kick these people out without worrying about being sued. We even tell our veterans, look, if you don't maintain this and you go into public and you're not cool and your dog isn't controlled and whatever, you can be kicked out. It doesn't matter. This is a service dog,
right?
Because it's all about personal responsibility, but yeah, it is the Wild West and you made a point, people so often, well-meaning people, they just want their dog to be with them. And so they want it to be labeled a service dog. But then, and I know this because they call my for-profit business all the time, wanting their dog to be trained. And I'm like, what's your disability? Well, what do you mean? It's like, service dogs are for the disabled. Are you disabled? Well, no, I just want my dog with me. I'm like, well, ma'am. So then I educate them and they're like, oh, I had no idea. And, and it's like, I'm like, look, I could just take your money and you won't be allowed access. And you're really breaking the law, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. So, I'll take your cash. And I'll just let you figure it out on your own. When you get there, you'll be all right. Okay. Absolutely. So now a service dog. Tell us what a service, for all that differences, tell us what a service dog is then, basically. And since you're training service dogs.
Yeah, well, a service dog is a tool. It is a piece of medical equipment. No different. It is different, but it's technically no different than a wheelchair, a walker, or a cane. Because those pieces of equipment are there to mitigate a disability. They bring balance. They bring mobility, right? The service dog allows its veteran to have I want to say public mobility. I just lost the word. Social mobility. A service dog will allow a veteran, as an example, and we see it every time when veterans are here training, it'll allow a service dog to walk into a store that maybe he hasn't been in 10 years by himself. Right. Most of our veterans have service people. They have their service human. and they got their buddy or they got their wife or their child that will go with them, but they aren't going to go alone. So one of the things that we say, because we ask our veterans, what do you want to do once you get a service dog that you're not doing now? What is your goal? We want them to be goal oriented and actually have a mission. They call it a mission at hand. And they're like, I want to be able to shop for my clothes without a service person with me. So the dog provides social mobility. With that service dog at their side, they feel safer. And then when they're in the store, they use the dog as a tool to mitigate some of the symptoms that might be debilitating. And I'll explain. Often we will see a veteran go into Walmart, especially the very, very first time. And they're walking in, and even though they're with us, but they're still walking into a Walmart. And they might not have been in a Walmart in 10 years. And they're starting to have panic attack. So we teach them how to use their dog in grounding techniques. We teach them how to use their dog in social barriers, to place the dog in such a way to help keep people maybe a little bit further away. And then sometimes they even will sit down and use the dog for pressure therapy. But they use these dogs to help get their heart rate and their breathing and their nerves under control. And we teach this actual technique. So the dog is a tool while they're in the store to help them keep themselves at a baseline as much as possible so they can finish what they call the mission, go get the milk, and then come out and then walk out. And some of our veterans, after learning how to use the dog, they walk out of the store better than they were when they walked in, because of the way they were able to ground themselves and use the dog. So what is a service dog? A service dog literally is a tool, but society doesn't see it like that, because, you got somebody in a wheelchair and they're just going through the store. What do? We see somebody coming with a wheelchair. We might smile and nod, give them some space and walk right on by, right?
Yep.
Well, that's what people should do when they see a service dog, but they don't. They walk up to the service dog and they start to talk to the dog. They start to talk to, I know I can't pet you, but dang it, you're so cute. I just want to pet you. And then they start telling the veteran a stupid pet story, and they're telling them about their dog and everything else. And all the veteran wants to do is go buy his milk.
Yeah, exactly. There's a process. The veteran is processing something, trying to go through a process. The dog is helping them. And then here's some chucklehead going, hey, you want to hear about my Shih Tzu?
Well, when's the last time you went up to a wheelchair and go, that's such a pretty wheelchair. Can I touch it? What kind of wheelchair is that? I have a wheelchair at home. You want to see a picture?
Yeah. How much horsepower does it have? What can it pull?
That's right. That's a
good. Do you ever mow along with it?
Yeah, exactly. But we don't see it. But society doesn't see it like that.
Yeah.
But that is actually how it is.
No, you bring up a good point. You bring up a good point, because my encounter with a service animal was, I was at a store and I was at Home Depot and I was getting some stuff, and I felt a nudge. I felt a cold nose on my leg, and it was like the service dog. The service dog was like not really being mean, but kind of like it was almost like doing a nonverbal "excuse me" while the veteran was walking, and the veteran was looking at the wall, at the wall or something like that. For I was in all the where the outlets are and stuff like that, and all the electrical stuff, and I just felt his nose on my leg or something on my leg. I looked down, and it was a golden retriever pushing me away, and then there was a veteran, and you could see he was going through his process. So I just let it go, because I always knew that you didn't mess with the dog anyways. I mean, there's specific reasons why you didn't mess with the dog too. So and also my son was like, whoa, look at that, like, whoa, nice dog, and then he went on his business. That was really my own, I don't want to say negative experience, but me being, I guess you would say, serviced. I was getting moved out of the way. It wasn't like a shove. It was like a little gentle tap, and I'm like, what's that on my, and I looked, and that's when I see the dog's the top of the, his little vest, and then I see the veteran. I saw the veteran just looking around and grabbing some stuff and all that, and then he walks out or walks away from where me and my boy were at, and so it was just like, wow, okay, cool. That analogy that you bring up, I didn't even think about it, but it's almost like, now I'm gonna really be self-conscious about it anytime I see somebody in a wheelchair now. Be like, I'm not, or a dog. Can I pet it and all that?
I know, right? Don't go up and pet the wheelchair. Don't do that. But they'll be like, he needs to be,
dude.
Well, one of the things that makes it so tough on the public, though, to give the public a break, is we have people who are taking their pets into public, and they're slapping a vest on them saying they're a service dog.
Yes.
And then they're letting people pet him in public. Well, those are not Those are not real service dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but they're not, because nobody with a real service dog or that is a qualified service dog would ever do that.
Right.
Because you don't want the dog engaging the public. You do not want the dog distracted. You do not because if a handler was to allow the public to pet their service dog on a regular basis, the dog will then seek out affection from people in public. So if you look at any of our videos of our dogs, I mean, they're just looking straight ahead and they're just walking, and you can have all these people and the dogs are just looking straight ahead. They're not looking at all the people. They're not interested, and it's not there. And it's because the dogs know, number one, they're disciplined, but number two, they know they will not be engaged, and a dog doesn't look for something it's never going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you have people out there, well-meaning people, nice people that just want their pet with them,
right,
it doesn't change the damage that they're doing. But the fact is that when they're allowing other people to pet their dog, it's creating a problem, because then when we teach our veterans to be very respectful. If somebody asks to pet your dog, thank you for asking, but no, he's working.
Mm-hmm.
But then when people get offended at our veterans and like, but I always pet service dogs. It's like, well, you didn't pet a real one, because nobody would let you do that.
Right.
But
right.
now it brings conflict and frustration, and our veterans, they just want to live their life. They just want to live their life under the radar. Most of them didn't even want anybody to know they had PTSD.
Right.
And now they have a dog that says veteran with PTSD, or disabled veteran is what it has. It doesn't have PTSD on it, but it says disabled veteran. And they were trying to run under the radar. So that tells you how desperate they are for a solution to get on and look for something that is going to help them in their life, and hope they're just praying to God the service dog is going to make a difference.
Right.
But think about the fact that they're actually asking for help. They're actually willing to admit, I need this dog, because now you just walk through the store feeling like you're naked. Because all eyes are on you. And we just tell our veterans, they're looking at the dog, they're not looking at you.
Yeah.
And that's a while they get used to it. But it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, I was about to say that most of it is, I'm pretty sure in the like, before you're doing the meetup and stuff like that, when you talk to the veterans, you probably could tell that there's a stigma, like you just said. They probably don't want anybody to know that they don't have any issues. And so do you ever hear about a stigma? Did they ever say, hey, I don't, do you think there's, let me rephrase this. Do you think veterans seeking support dogs, have they ever come out and said there's a stigma, or do you think there's a stigma?
A stigma meaning
asking for help, the stigma of asking for help. Right now in the veteran and in the active duty community, if you ask for it, veterans and active duty personnel are really leery and kind of like, I'm not going to ask for help, because then they fear that it's going to affect their promotions. It's fear it's going to affect their job opportunities.
Yeah, they're going to be limited and labeled.
Right. And exactly that, the label too. And then, so I was just curious, do you, in your discussions, and you don't have to be specific, but do you ever have veterans say, hey, there's a stigma out there, or feel that? I mean,
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. So it's not very often we get active duty, because then it would depend on what their MOS was.
Gotcha.
If it would even be safe to the dog, because the service dog has to be with them 24/7.
Gotcha.
With the exception, like, if you're going to go skydive and then leave your dog at home, right? But for the most part, these dogs are with them 24/7. And so it's not like they can just go do their job. They're, that maybe it's not safe for the dog, and then come home to the family and the dog, because that's family pet. And so the dog does need to be with them, but there's absolutely a stigma. We did have one female that she was just getting out, and she was here locally, and she had gotten her service dog just right at the end because of all of that.
Right.
And the other thing that's consistent with every veteran is not only they don't want the stigma of now people are going to know. They're striving to just look normal. They're striving to feel normal, and they don't feel normal at all. And so now, obviously, with a service dog, it's a whole nother deal. It's a whole nother way to think about life. It's about the preparation, because now you have to feed this dog and potty this dog. And what if the dog has diarrhea that day?
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to go to the store for 3 hours, but you have to live your life around the dog's needs in order for the dog to be able to serve you well. So not only do they have that, but one of the biggest things is the survivor's guilt. That when a veteran comes in to get help and they get a service dog, one of their biggest things that they will verbalize to us on day one is they feel so guilty because they don't want to take a dog from another veteran that might be more deserving. And we tell them, it's like, first of all, if you walk away with this service dog, this is the day 1 of 5 weeks. Number one, you will be the mission in action, and you can bring hope and inspiration to somebody who's struggling. by your success, by your example. But number two, I tell them, it's like, look, there's a lot of veterans that would love to be in your seat right now. And if you're in front of us, run with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Run with this opportunity. And so there's a lot, I tell, I'm more than a dog trainer, okay? But I'm just a dog trainer. That's all. I stand in a field and I work dog after dog, no matter what we're training them to do. And I'm just a dog trainer who loved their freedom and loved the men and women who provided it. So I founded Northwest Battle Buddies. And all I'm saying that to say, now I have this amazing team because I couldn't do it by myself. I'm not standing by myself in my office anymore. I have an amazing, small, but impactful team that is full of excellence, and they are tireless and they are amazing, and they give 110% every day of the week and twice on Sundays. But the fact is that when I just wanted to adopt dogs out of shelters, train them, and then provide them and say thank you for my freedom. But I had no idea I was going to be dealing with the mental health issues, the suicide, the self-medication, the everything that are veterans and the struggle. Reading a personal statement that I'm writing it in the closet.
Yeah.
So over the 13 years, we've gotten educated, and we've gotten just the experience and everything, and the education and seeking it out and hearing from veterans. And because every single time, even when we're doing our processes, we're always asking our veterans, how can we make it better for you? What can we do different? Everything. We are constantly transforming our organization. And a lot of it is driven by the veterans' education and helping us, and then pouring into what will make it better even for the next veteran.
Right.
So,
you had mentioned something. You actually, two things. You had stated that the homelessness situation, and you said you helped a veteran.
Yeah.
You helped that veteran get out of that situation. What is that part of the process? Is that part of the because you were I mean, not to get into the business.
Let me qualify that.
Yeah.
Let me qualify that. We did. So what I was saying is this: if a veteran notifies us and they don't qualify, we do what we can to help make sure they understand what resources are out there that can help them in their current situation, instead of just giving a flat no.
Gotcha.
But so there was no personal veteran that we helped out of a homeless situation. I'm saying if a veteran that was homeless applied, then at this time we would have to deny him, but we do everything we can to make sure he understands there are resources, get him connected, so it's not a flat no. We want to help him with where he's at.
Right. You want to kind of direct him to get out of that situation so then he can come back. That's the okay. Yeah. No, I've always heard, because I think this is the first I've ever heard of an organization doing that. Like you just said, most organizations, flat no, you got to be stable, blah, 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 blah. This has got to be a specific criteria made.
Yeah.
But you're the first organization that I've heard that is actually directing, hey, look, we can't help you now, but to get you to this spot, here's where you can go, and here's where you can.
Absolutely.
That's because that's a huge win. A lot of veterans give up because they don't it seems like to them it's like a door slammed in their face.
Well, and we've had some veterans be extremely unhappy because they felt like they had a door slammed in their face by us because they didn't qualify. And so we always try to make sure that, they are aware of what resources are out there, but there are also other organizations that don't have the high standard that we have. It doesn't mean they can't get a service dog. It just means they can't get a service dog from us. And it's not that, but in order for them to succeed, what I've learned and what we've learned is, in order for veterans to succeed, their life really does need to be there. Certain things need to be in place, because the stress that comes with a service dog, they don't know that. They're only thinking about what's good. And it's our responsibility to set our veterans up for success, to let them know what's coming down the line, and train them to be prepared for it, because it's not all roses and cotton candy with a service dog, or having to be in public with a service dog. It's not. And it's our responsibility to make sure that we've set them up for success. And when we see that a veteran is going to get blindsided in an area, then we either need to run interference or educate them one way or another. But that's our responsibility too, because there's no rose-colored glasses at all in the service dog industry at all, or working with mental health and what our veterans are struggling with. Now, having Northwest Battle Buddies and providing service dogs, it's absolutely working for the 292 veterans that have our dogs. We're going to be doing our 300th dog here, introducing it to its veteran, you know, in October. And all of that is really, really, really great. But there's so much, literally blood, sweat, and tears, and so many tears, and so much self-doubt, and so much hard work, and so much sacrifice on Northwest Battle Buddies team, on the veterans who have our dogs, all of that, because it is a struggle, because they literally are fighting for their life. And they're just praying to God that this is going to work. And for a lot of them, you know, one of the things that when we talk about mental health and what our veterans are dealing with, the amount of medications that our veterans are on sometimes are just astronomical at the number of pills that they're having to take. We had one veteran, and he was taking, I can't remember if it was 32 or 36 pills a day.
I don't doubt it.
Every day.
I don't doubt it.
And after having his service dog Nova for a year and a half, he got down to one pill a day through the help of his medical care provider. We have veterans that had graduated, and within 1 month, with the help of their medical care provider, the veteran was just here and he was talking to me. He goes, I was just telling my doctor, I don't know what these pills do for me, but I know what Hunter does for me, and I don't want to take them anymore. And he's not taking it. And so whatever it was, you know, we tell our veterans, don't just go off your pills.
Right.
You need to be under supervision and do that.
Yep.
But the fact is that is one of the biggest wins for our veterans, is when they can get off of their meds safely and live life more clear-headed, happier, and learn in a healing, holistic way how to cope. And with the service dog being the tool that is helping be the catalyst for all that.
Now, do you guys have therapists that come out and watch along with the veteran when they're doing meetups? I mean, do you have?
No, we don't. Some organizations might have a therapist on.
Right.
Now, I will tell you that we have resources where we have some therapists that will donate some time for free, so that our veterans will have access to.
Yeah,
but that is not something.
Maybe I should have asked it that way. You know, some organizations will have, like you said, pro bono work, offering their time and then do some sort of outreach just to kind of like. Because I know I guess that answers the other question too. So the VA is working with you guys or no?
The VA will refer us.
Oh, wow, okay.
They will refer us veterans.
There you go. Okay.
But they don't support in any way.
Oh, okay.
They don't support in any way. There's no money for service dogs. There's no support for our veterans like that. But yes, the local VAs have referred veterans to Northwest Battle Buddies, so they've called us and they've done that. But there is no funding for service dogs for veterans with PTSD. There's no funding whatsoever. Even the pause bill, you know, or whatever, you know, it was all over the news. I think a year or two ago or whatever. But they're like, you know, it's $10 million or whatever it was going to be. They didn't pay one dime.
That was about to say, that's one of the questions that I would have to Congress or to the government, our government. It's you know, we're gonna revitalize and revamp behavioral health, but then when it comes to service dogs, you see nothing. You see no. It almost seems like it's just lip service. I was just kind of curious to see if the VA, I mean, aside from, and therapists to discuss it, I was just curious to see if they're referring. Okay, that's at least a step. That they're referring.
No, it is. I mean, it's, and I don't know which doctors are doing it because, in the VA as well, one of the things that we require and all the other organizations that have best practices that I'd mentioned earlier in the show, it's like they have to have a doctor's note stating that they could benefit from a service dog. And a lot of doctors don't even want to do that. It's a struggle. It's a struggle to get everything that is required. Everything is required for a reason. But it's a struggle for our veterans to come home and they've been living sometimes for decades. Just one side note real quick, a lot of organizations only serve post 9/11 veterans, but Northwest Battle Buddies serves all conflicts. And my favorite veterans are the Vietnam. I call them mine, but my favorite veterans are the Vietnam veterans. We just had one in this last group, and just to see him we gave him an Australian Labradoodle. She looks like a stuffed animal, but she's like real. But we gave him an Australian Labradoodle, and she was phenomenal named Mystique. And watching him handle her and watching him overcome and watching the tears roll down his face and the excitement that he has for life. I mean, he's 70 years old, and here he is trying to cope and trugging along and going through the grocery store and doing everything we're asking him to do, doing everything we're asking, going everywhere we're asking him to go. And I will tell you, when we took him to TSA to go through Portland Airport security, honestly, I was like praying to God. I was praying for him. I was afraid he's going to have a heart attack. And people might be like, why'd you make him do it? Because it was part of our process.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the biggest win he had in 5 weeks because he used the dog for pressure therapy. He used the tool. He got through it. And you should have seen the smile and the victory on the other side of that for him. And his life, you know, in his words, he goes, I feel like my life is just beginning. So
that's awesome.
Northwest Battle Base serves all conflicts.
That's
and
awesome.
my favorite, in fact, our 100th dog went to a Vietnam veteran.
That's
and
awesome.
Just love him. Yeah. Jim and Bomber. So, yeah.
It just, yeah. You know, you think about the Vietnam veterans. I mean, I'm not saying nothing against the GWAT veterans and neither about the
No.
but it's just, God, man, it
different.
They just,
it was different.
Yeah. They just get screwed over so freaking much. It's just like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Now the process. Okay. So I remember you saying you will put them up in your room. How does the process work? So say I get referred and what would be the process for me? Do you guys provide housing or provide accommodations for me to go up? What you fly me out there? How does it work?
Yeah. Okay. So most of our veterans come from even though we're in 28 states, most veterans come from Washington and Oregon. And so a lot of them stay home, but obviously, you know, they're not driving 150 or 200 miles a day because they're here every day. So they are either in hotels or Airbnbs, or they'll bring a trailer and things like that.
Okay.
Right now, Northwest Battle Buddies cannot afford to pay for them to fly out here and stay.
Okay.
They come at their own means. However, we do everything we can. Simplify America Fund is phenomenal. We have For the Fallen, which is up in the Seattle, Washington area. And so we go to other veteran support groups, nonprofits that will help our veterans mitigate, and they'll pay for these expenses for our veterans. Not 100% all the time, but a lot of times they'll pay that hotel bill. They'll pay that Airbnb, or they'll pay those airplane tickets. So they're not having to just eat that whole bill. Northwest Battles, we want to get to the point where we can pay every expense a veteran has when they come out. Now the dogs are 100% free.
Okay.
They don't pay anything for our training or the dog. And the dogs cost us $25,000 by the time we gift them. That's their value. But when the veterans come out, it is on their dime, but we do everything we can to make sure that they get support from another veteran nonprofit.
That burden. Yeah, as we've been talking, I've been dropping links. So I've been like how to donate, how to so that way everybody on the YouTube and the Facebook chats, and also on Twitter, they got the or X, they have the link already posted. So as I'm asking questions, I'm dropping the links as you're answering them because
Thank you.
Because and
if I can say I was just if I could say, it's like, you know, you were asking about the VA and you were asking about, you know, we talk about the government, we talk about personal responsibility. At the end of the day, I wasn't born free. Freedom was a gift to me, paid by somebody else. My dad served. I'm a single mom. My twins served, Army and Marines. I know what it's like to have them be gone out of the country. I know what it's like I know all that, but praise God, they came home. And all I'm saying is that it is we the people. Our veterans need, I'm not saying the government shouldn't step up, and I'm not saying the VA shouldn't step up, but what our veterans need is they need we the people, our support, free Americans who appreciate their freedom and the men and women who provided it. And Northwest Battle Buddies is a trusted resource. We have a monthly giving program called Operation Never Quit, where anybody can lock in, partner with Northwest Battle Buddies, and give any amount they want monthly. They get newsletters, they get veterans, it's called our Heroes Corner, where veterans are talking about their wins, how they're living life differently with their service dog. They stay connected to the success stories of what they're a part of when they join Operation Never Quit, which is our monthly giving program. And we need the help of the American people. It is we the people. I mean, freedom wasn't free. And if you love dogs or the men and women who provided our freedom, then Northwest Battle Base is a trusted resource for donation money.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, maybe something would be a good win right now. I would say for right now, for the veterans that are currently out, it would be, we need to have a lawmaker that provides funding for service dogs. And that's it. It should be a almost like Voc Rehab, how funding is handled by the VA and it's given to you, and it's, you know, you write the log, you log in the information. Here's the veteran. Here's who's doing it. Blah blah blah. Resources now, like you said, the donations. I totally understand that, and I'm glad that there's other veteran organizations that are out there to help. But I just feel like at this point, you know, we can't crack the nut. We can't seem to get. Okay, service. We all want to address PTSD. We all address the 22 a day or 17 a day or 23 a day.
Yeah.
The number keeps sliding. So
Right.
why is there nobody in our government, in our Congress, say this needs to be fixed? Here's some money for, because we already did it with the PACT Act. We already did. Here's some money for veterans for their service dogs. I just don't get how something is so simple. Let's put it that way.
Well, I don't know. And I don't want to say something that I'm not educated to speak out, but I will say this. It seems like, in my experience with what our veterans are dealing with their own frustration when they do go to the VA or they are trying to find help, you know, I wonder about, and I'm not bashing anybody,
Of course,
but I wonder about, you know, is there an agenda about the pharmaceutical drugs that they're on? Is there an agenda about the systems, how expensive it is to keep a veteran in therapy or on meds, as opposed to paying for a $25,000 service dog and having them come off of, and I'm not saying veterans should stop doing therapy or their meds, but I'm just saying trading one for the other, it seems, if it's done right, the service dog is a more economical answer than a lot of these other things that never end. And you would think, I remember when my boys were processing out of the Army and Marines, the extensive interviews and conversations about making sure that they were going to be okay when they left. And I know that a lot of veterans are leaving with already disabilities and percentages and diagnoses. And you would think that they would already be hooking them up with an organization with service dogs at the end when they see, if they would just open their eyes and see, and get educated and be open-minded. And here, there's not one veteran with a service dog that came from a good organization like Northwest Battle Base and like organizations. They would tell you their life is not their life, their family, and even their community can't be completely changed by a well-trained service dog and a well-trained handler.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to get into the tinfoil territory because of the the format of our show, but yeah, I do. It does make you wonder. Okay, who are the benefactors to keep service dogs away from that? Who are the gatekeepers, like you said about drugs, big pharma. I mean, we talk about it all the time about profits from pharmaceutical companies and how they do not want to use psychedelics. They don't want to use cannabis or THC, or they don't want to use other treatments. I consider that another treatment and not using opioids. I feel that if a service dog, those types of treatments are in play, and also if we have a proper and your family could probably attest to this, they probably didn't get a very good exit on what benefits there are on the outside for behavioral health or whatever. We need to fix that as well. So it's really frustrating. I mean, we could probably talk about 2-3 hours about that part, but that's a whole nother. We're here to talk about the dogs, not.
Well, and the thing is that I think sometimes people let what they think they know get in the way of what they need to know.
Right.
And it's about a new thing. It's like just, it's a new thing. And it's like being open-minded to hear a different perspective or somebody's experience, because, you can have, science and this and that and all of that stuff. But when you hear about the argument against service dogs or whatever it might be, people talk a lot about science and everything else. But the fact is that you can't deny a veteran's experience. You can't deny when they didn't have a job, they wouldn't go out, and now they are with their family. Now they are not hearing about, their children's sport events. They're with their children at their sport events. They're living life. Now they have a job. Now they're back in society.
Right.
Now they're healthier, still married. It's like, it's not just the human, it's the family unit that is suffering. And then it's the community. And all I know is that Northwest Battle Buddies is making a difference. Northwest Battle Buddies. And, we can't help them all, but we serve, but absolutely the ones that are in front of us, we give them all we got.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Wow, that's a great close. Yeah. Great close. Shannon Walker, thank you so much for hanging out. CEO and co-founder of Northwest Battle Buddies. Like you said, you got that 300th vet that is going to be the 300th animal team. I guess, do you call them teams or dog team or what? I mean,
Service dog, Service dog veteran team, yes.
Yeah, Service dog veteran team. You have so that again. Thank you so much for hanging out. Please send us any information that you have on that event, because that's a win. That goes to show that's a win, and together I think all of us will be able to to continue with these wins.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. Let me speak about Northwest Battle Buddies, our veterans, and if there's a veteran out there that is looking for help, please check out Northwest Battle Buddies. Let us serve you. And if you're a donor, Operation Never Quit at northwestbattlebuddies.org. Please check us out.
Amen to that. All right, we're going to take a break right quick. Me and Shannon are going to shoot the breeze in the green room for a second, and then I'll be back to close it up. Stand by.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
A soldier's tale of wild misdeeds, from the chow hall to the PT grind. You won't believe the things you'll find. Drill sergeant's rage, a fiery storm. Private tensions far from the norm, in the shadows where the secrets lie. Army W.T.F, you can't deny. Army of the stories unfold. In the heart of the chaos, the truth is told. From the field to the base, the legends grow. Army of the force, the madness we know. A Humvee stuck in the mud so deep. A midnight rain, no time for sleep. It moves straight like gold in hand. The strangest sights in this foreign land. Drill sergeant's rage, a fiery storm. Private antics far from the norm, in the shadows where the secrets lie. Army W.T.F, you can't deny. Army of the stories unfold. In the heart of the chaos, the truth is told. From the field to the base, the legends grow. Army of the force, the madness we know. In the mud so deep, a midnight rain, no time for sleep. It moves straight like gold in hand. The strangest sights in this foreign land. Drill sergeant's rage, a fiery storm. Private antics far from the norm, in the shadows where the secrets lie. Army W.T.F, you can't deny. Army of the stories unfold. In the heart of the chaos, the truth is told. From the field to the base, the legends grow. Army of the force, the madness we know. In the ranks where the wildlings roam, every soldier's got a tale of their own. From the absurd to the downright strange. Army of the force, it never will change. So raise a glass to the tales untold. In the Army's world, where the brave and bold live the moments that make us say, Army of the force, every single day.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Of the Monday edition. Appreciate Shannon Walker, CEO and founder of Northwest Battle Buddies, for hanging out. Good talk. We could have talked. Man, I could have probably done a 4-hour show. Good stuff. So many questions. Appreciate you guys asking in the chats. Man, we really need it. We really need it. I'll just say it right now that we really need to get this service animal. How do I say this? I want legislation. There you go. As a voter, I want legislation to happen. I want to see money, VA money, being given to these organizations that are able to provide top quality service dog training like Northwest Battle Buddies. So again, check out all the links that are in all the chats. I put the link on X, so if you go to the X broadcast, you can see Northwest Battle Buddies. And then you can see all the comments and links that I posted inside the chats on the 2 YouTube pages and of course the 2 Facebook pages. All right, so I want to go back. I want to go back to this and okay, you guys know we run a collaborative app with Rob Evans. Well, he runs the app. We are assisting in providing the clientele. And directing traffic to Hots and Cots. I'm going to talk to Rob and see maybe if he wants to go international. He's already got Hots and Cots for a freaking aircraft carrier. And so now, I'm going to talk to Rob. Yeah, I'm going to talk to Rob. I'm going to say, hey, how do our allies, I should say, because we are, like I said, we're friends and partners with the Australians, the troops in the Australian Defense Force. And so I think that would be awesome for an outlet. So that way, outside of Pineapple Express, outside of WTF Moments, outside of WTF Nation Radio, service members, I might even ask some of my UK friends, UK Commando crew, and ask them, hey, you guys want to do some freaking you want to do some collaborative work? I'll talk to Rob to see if we could get an allied version of Hots and Cots. So that way issues like that are posted and it is like our inbox sanity is enforced and you're able to anonymously post images and pictures of, and that way it can get fixed. And that way it's more like a whatever. Now, I don't know. I'll have to talk to him to see what legalities are, because look, this soldier went on freaking just the news to talk about the mold, and now look what happened. I guarantee it. Back in the old days, I bet you the Army wanted. Oh yeah, I'll say it. I'm willing to bet you. Not even a bet. I guarantee it. There were leaders that would love to have visited soldiers. For posting stuff or having us post stuff on their behalf at U.S. Army WTF Moments. So I don't doubt it. But I'm going to ask. I'm going to freaking ask Rob, hey, man, what do you think about doing an allied Hots and Cots? Oi, there you go. And I know all my Aussie friends, I know, that no way. No, that picture just incenses me because I can't believe that instead of fixing the problem or addressing the issue or having their organization, public affairs,
staff reach out and say, we're working with the soldier. We're ready to get the soldier out of quarters. We're going to revisit how we do practices or how we do work orders, blah, blah, blah. And instead this happens. Man, it's just frustrated, but anyhow. All right. I think it's housekeeping. It's housekeeping time. I think currently CQ is doing some stuff. I think he's coming back from Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. He's got a lot of stuff to put out. There was going to be some pop culture. There was going to be some counter pop culture warrior stuff. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should have a Monday edition segment where it's counter pop culture. So, exactly. The counter, pop culture cheese man. I know everybody right now doesn't want to be around Pedro Pascal. Exactly. Oh, man. I wasn't dinging at that. Did you guys see the Fantastic Four movie, by the way? Or do you see the new Superman movie, by the way? I'm just curious. I know. CQ is out and about doing his San Diego Comic-Con stuff. Matter of fact, let me grab some of the imagery we got here from for Pop Culture Warrior to see what he been doing. What he been doing? Yeah. Oh, we got the team out there checking out the Naked Gun. Oh, hang on, man. Let me grab this. Let me grab a window cap here. Let me grab a window cap. Yeah, look at the team watching. Guess we had the team out. See, could you imagine just where you work, you get to go watch movies or stuff like that? So look at that. We got a screener. See, so our pop culture team is out and about doing things. Man, I'm hating. Hate. That's some good stuff. There we go. There's CQ coming back. Gotta clown him. This was as of 4 hours ago. He's coming back. Oh shit. He's coming back, and I guess he's for Peacemaker season 2. I guess this is his this was on his ensemble on the way back from San Diego. Woo! Let's see what other picks we got from San Diego Comic-Con. There he is right there. There he is right there. Looking pretty familiar with that, the way you hold the mic there, Mike. No pun intended. Anyways, there he is doing his interviews, knocking out. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Old Spice dude. Old Spice dude. The guy from the Old Spice commercials. Yeah, he was at San Diego Comic-Con as well. Look at that. He's doing all that. Look at this. Haterade. Hatorade. Look at this, dude. Oh, man. Bobby Amell and Kevin Bigley. Oh man, look at that. Oh, we were also at Oshkosh at the EAA Air Adventure. We had people at Oshkosh. But gosh, look at that. Drones running around with freaking Army helicopters and stuff. Old warbirds and stuff. Elvis's jet. It's pretty cool. There's Keith. Yeah, so look at that. All the guys are out just. Oh, there he is right there. And I'll tell you what, Bobby. So again, Pop Culture Warrior tomorrow. Matter of fact, let me get the guest. We have to update our graphics because our graphics are going to change with the style of and postings of shows. You're going to see this. You're going to see this graphic get busy. It's going to get pretty packed. There's also going to be exclusive, only on YouTube content coming out soon. We're getting content creators and we're getting some talent, some pretty interesting talent. Some pretty good talent to come on board. And this will be exclusive to YouTube at W.T.F Nation Radio. So make sure you subscribe onto the W.T.F Nation Radio YouTube page because there's going to be exclusives getting posted on there that will not be posted on Facebook, but you'll probably see some teasers on Facebook and on X. But some of the exclusive content that we're going to be doing will be posted on the YouTube. So I'm excited. So again, Pop Culture Warrior is probably going to give us an update on what's going on. And then we have the Smoke Pit. Now the Smoke Pit and the Sports Bar, we're going to be shuffling around. So again, this graphic's going to get updated. But Mondays and Thursdays will always be Sergeant's Time in the Monday edition. And then, of course, FTX and Saturday co-ops. Weekend co-ops, I should say. Nemo with either Valor Gaming, Stack Up Gaming, or W.T.F Nation Gaming. You guys probably saw on the TL as we were broadcasting, W.T.F Nation Gaming was also already up on the main page. Matter of fact, let me triple double check. I think they're still on. Are they still on? Are they still playing? They're playing. Dune Awakening. So yeah. So I have a feeling that there's gonna be a new Battlefield game coming out as well. Looking forward to that. Helldivers going out to consoles. Oh man. So again, that graphics going to get pretty busy. It's going to get really busy. So WTF Nation Radio is definitely opening up the floodgates on what new programming that we have. And I'm excited. I'm just watching the guys, the team at work, getting all this set up. So make sure you share, like, and follow. We're broadcasting live on 5 different platforms: 2 YouTube pages at U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio, 2 Facebook pages at U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio, and X at WTF Nation Radio. I think that's it. Make sure you turn on your notifications too, because sometimes the Facebook page will turn them off if we get restricted. So, anyways, I think that's it. You guys got anything for me? I'll see you on Thursday. We also have other guests lined up. Military side, yeah, LPD. We're gonna have some military organizations join us as well on the Sergeant's Time podcast to discuss unit Army future things and all that. So I'm excited to get back in and talking to the senior leaders of the Army. Anyhow, so y'all have a good one, and see you. Shots.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Driving us insane. ATF zero time, 30, no time to complain. Push ups in the mud, feel the muscle strain. Army life is a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive, in the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Hilltops in the desert, sandstorms in our eyes. Memories for breakfast, no room for lies. Running marches through the night under starless skies. Brothers and sisters, we rise. Army life, it's a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive, in the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos, in the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Drill sergeant's fury echoing in the air. Discipline and duty we all must bear. Battle bodies by our side in the fight we share. In the face of danger we dare. Army life, it's a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive, in the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Zones and firefights, adrenaline's rush. Silent nights, broken by the enemy's hush. Medics on the move in the heat of the crush. In the heart of battle we trust. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find out our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle. Army life, it's a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive. In the ranks we thrive. WTF moments in the stories we find. In the Army's embrace, we're forever entwined. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Through the smoke and the flames we rise again. In the heart of the storm we find our zen. Battle buddies by our side, our men. In the Army's legacy we transcend.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Я батько. Я молодший брат.
Я водій маршрутки. Я скоро одружуся. Я фанат Шахтера.
Начальник отдела продаж.
Я прораб.
Я программист.
Я свидетель на свадьбе.
Борщица.
Дядя Юра, таксист. Я вчитель фізкультури.
Я студент-геолог.
У мене своя фірма. Я кращий друг зі школи. Я сусід, який завжди стукає по батареї.
Я єдиний син.